And like here's a really basic example from traditional media. You ever watch the nightly news in the local market?
Not really.
Okay, well, not today, but did you like growing up maybe?
Yes,
or,
when we were growing up.
Growing up,
It was an event.
it is.
You sat down at dinner and you might have turned it on.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. It's just like that pre-internet, like that's how my parents would watch it every night. And whenever I was old enough to be able to stay up, I'd watch it. It is the most formulaic, same thing every single night, where it's if there is a murder or a thing that is scary, that is the lead story. Yeah. That's just like the way it works, right? And it's like, why are people doing it? Because it's kind of like, that sounds like entertainment, like in the sense that it's like, it gives you something to talk about the water cooler the next day. And like, so people have been doing this forever, but like, I don't think anyone serious would have ever said watching the nightly news, the regional nightly news in wherever you are, compared to reading a couple of newspapers. Let's say you read the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal, which have different points of view. Like which of those two things is going to, give you like a better perspective on what's happening on the world? Watching the nightly news or reading those two things. And here's the thing. If you're reading the New York Times or you're reading the Wall Street Journal or The Economist, that's a filter bubble. That is an editorialized algorithm that shows up whether it's daily or once a week, but you opt into it. You could say, hey, you know what? I'm finding the Wall Street Journal's too radical on this, or the New York Times too radical on that. And maybe I'll subscribe to the Financial Times, which is an international perspective, if that's what you believe in. But like the whole point is that there is a marketplace of algorithms in news, at least traditionally. But I think as we've moved more towards Twitter, now the algorithm that is centralized there is actually dictates effectively what the current thing is with the front page. And so moving back to a model where you as an adult get to make the decisions on what your diet looks like, because there are other opportunities for clients that actually respect that ability and say, oh, the consumer says they don't want to see this. We're going to do a really good job preventing you from seeing this. Because maybe they're monetized via subscription. They don't have to worry about the amount of time spent you have in ads and things like that. So that's like the world I want to get to is actually it's just move it closer to Web 1, where it's like everything is a website, and it's like you pick the websites if you like Drudge Report or you like
Huffington Post or
exactly, or Daily Cost. Like there's a rich tapestry of different levels of political extreme or whatever, talking points, memos, and other one. Like I think that whole early internet culture of like you could actually kind of pick like the intellectual bent that you wanted. I think we're just missing that today because so much of it is reduced to a single app's algorithmic decisions, which are focused on time spent, which inevitably turn into the blood sport entertainment. Whereas Talking Points memo might have taken something that they saw on Breitbart or Drudge, and they do this big dunk takedown, but they don't get any additional distribution with like the quote tweets and retweets and like people dunking back and forth. It's like you had to actually go over there. And so that like speed of the kind of like fight is the latency like significantly increases, which I think requires a little bit more nuance and thought than like the 140 character, or I guess now technically it's unlimited on Twitter. But part of it is like show me the incentives, like I'll show you the outcome, and also just like the culture. And I think that's where Twitter is today. And so what I'm hoping with Farcaster is because of the multi-client ecosystem that we hope to propagate, you're going to have dozens of different cultures.